And that way, let's move into our next topic. Rocket League World Championship just occurred this past weekend, and oh boy, was it exciting. A ton of great games. This was the ultimate tournament for Rocket League this year, the 2024 season, and teams had to show up and show out to win that prize money, and we're going to be going over what happened just now. All right, so last week we were priming you. We ended up getting delayed in our stream. Normally it would have been on Tuesday, but we streamed on Friday, so we got to see some of the tournament live while we were recording this last week, the primer, etc. But this week we get to do a little bit of a retrospect, a recap, a breakdown, and we're going to go over the format, the winners, the losers, the prize pools, and our takeaways from it. So ultimately, too, this was the biggest tournament for Rocket League last year, actually this year, this whole past year, 2024. The information, it was pretty straightforward. Playing for $1.1 million. The tournament was happening in Fort Worth, Texas. And they had about 8 teams, I think, or 12 teams. Here are the qualified 16 teams, top 16 teams from the world coming through. We're going to go over the list there. And this is just your basic sort of expectation here, but to more specific how the format looked, it started with a Swiss stage. Everybody played each other to determine records, best of 5, see power rankings, etc., determine the bracket. Then they had a tiebreaker for any of those teams that were looking pretty close, a little solid here and there, and then playoffs in the weekend, leading it to championship game days on Sunday. Best of 7 for those championship games and the top playoff sort of situation, just to make sure there was less variance, because Rocket League can be a very momentum-based game. Generally, that's the format for you, how they played it out. It ultimately became a very competitive tournament, and we're going to roll down into our prize pool and winners real quick. So a quick first place congratulations to Team BDS taking first, taking $300,000 for first. G2 Stride, second place, $150,000. Couldn't quite make it, but still walking away with a bag. K-Corp Team Falcons, third and fourth place, $99,000. Nick, is that a little bit of an insult that it's not even $100,000, that it's $99,000?
Hey, Billy here. Wanted to take a quick minute to let you know a few different things. If you enjoyed the video so far, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps us out and it tells the algorithm to share it with more people. You can find the Esports Meta live every week on Twitch and YouTube. It's where we film the podcast or hang out, play games, and chat. If social media is more your vibe, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or Twitter if you use Threads. Does anybody use Threads? This is a video game community that's excited to talk about esports, so jump into the conversation. Of course, you can find more videos like this here on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button right there or there. Thanks for watching, and let's get back to the show.
Yeah, it's pretty trash for that. Like that 1,000, like that's pretty rough. But you know, the prize pool is like overall like not too bad, right? It's over $1 million, but like they have so many tournaments throughout the year that are so valuable. So like, right. For them, it's not too crazy for the prize pool to actually be a lot, like not a lot lower, but a little bit lower, just because they have so many throughout the year.
Yeah, and this was the biggest tournament for them of the year, right? Like we just came out of EWC, Esports World Cup. They had Rocket League there. There's a decent prize pool there, but this is like Rocket League's World Championship. This is the marquee event for this esport. And this is a really solid $300,000 to win this. I think BDS won EWC, and then here they are taking first place on
it's all figured out, man.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that with Rocket League, but let's roll down into our brackets and participants here. First, just going over the teams that played. Gentle Mates, they had previously won a major earlier this year. We're talking about Team BDS, Team Vitality, Carmine Corp, G2 Stride, Genji Mobile, Space Station Gaming, OG. Moving forward, more power, Quick Trip Pioneers, Furia Esports, Team Secret, Team Falcons, Oxygen Esports, Gaming Gladiators, and Limitless. That was all 16 of our competitors that made it to this World Championship. They had the invites. They performed earlier this year, and you know had to come to this tournament to show out and make that money. Moving down, going into the overall records for the group stages. We were talking about this last week because we did get to see some of the games, and we saw how starkly of a difference it was from the top half to the bottom half. But in those middle sections, we did see a lot of competitive records. G2 Stride at the top here going 3-0, right? Winning 9-2 of the games and having a +7 goal differential. But when you get down to Space Station Gaming, number 8, going 3-2, winning 9 in 8 of games and only a 1 goal difference, like really cut it close. It really made the difference. And on the losing end of that, potentially, you've got a Team Vitality only going 2-3 in their games, playing 5 games, whereas some of them were only playing 3 games, going 11-11 in their record, not quite breaking out, and like just being even on the overall goal differential, winning some, losing others, and just not being able to like make it matter. So like pretty big difference from the top here all the way down into the bottom here, 0-3 in Gaming Gladiators, like huge difference, naturally, of course. But that middle section, super duper competitive, super duper close, really bringing games to the farthest it could go, maybe some sweeps, reverse sweeps in that way. Literally 11-11. That's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like, look at Carmine Corp, though. They beat everyone. Like, they beat so many people. Scroll up, like, and then they didn't face. Like, they only lost to Furia Esports. They didn't even face Team Falcons.
You're right. They lost.
That's
to
a
Furia.
shame, dude.
Well, let's see how they do. Let's go down to the brackets because this is just the first part of that, and it was a bit of a tie. Carmine Corp was in 4th place. With the same record with Furia. So like they had a bit of a tiebreaker to see who was in 3rd and 4th overall. So a little bit extra there. Let's go. We're going to pass by all the rounds and we're going to bring us down into, there's a tiebreaker and you can see Carmine Corp over Furia and then Furia losing to Team BDS. So right now we're setting the stage at Team BDS in the 4th, 5th tied seed, going back up to the bracket real quick. Scrolling up. They were seeded 5th place out of the Swiss. 3-1, 10-6 overall, +4 differential, losing only to Team Falcons here, but beating Genji and a bunch of other teams here. Then getting down into the tiebreaker round. Where it is again. There we are. Having to face Furia after Furia just lost to Carmine Corp, K Corp. Real heartbreaking slide for Furia, like just getting slid down and going from a potential 3rd place down into a 5th place. Team BDS getting placed there, and then we move into the brackets. Anything to note there for you, Nick, or should we just move into what we see on the bracket round?
Don't look at G2 fought Carmine Corp. It's not listed up there.
Well, the first up there that was Swiss stage. That was just Swiss stage, and then here we're getting to playoffs. This is the last 2 days of games, last day of games. This is really where it mattered. You had to play to get in here, and then from here you're trying to win it all. All right. So we have a Team BDS final score over G2, 4-2. Team BDS ranked 5th in the Swiss stage, pushing forward over Furia and then making it all the way to finals and taking home 1st place. Let's take a look at this journey here through the bracket real quick. Furia over Space Station Gaming, having a bit of fire coming out of that round, facing G2 and losing to G2. And G2 end up going forward all the way to 2nd place against Team BDS. Right? And then on the other end here, Team BDS getting the first round bye, but because of that win over Furia, it might have been the difference maker, might have been the game breaker here, beating G2 off the bat here. Team Falcons and Carmine Corp playing. Carmine Corp handing it to Team Falcons 4-1, but not really able to do much with that until, the grand final there. BDS going forward, taking 1st place, pretty close matches here. The scorelines all, 4-2, 4-3. I think the one that stands out is that Team Falcons. They got a whooping on from K Corp, and maybe it was just a bad game. Maybe they got a little unlucky in that upper bracket, or maybe their strategy. They wanted to go down to the bottom round, the lower bracket, and fly like a phoenix to rise from the ashes.
Could you imagine, man? They were just like, let's go into the losers bracket real quick.
Right,
have some fun.
Like, strategy on that is wild. If that was the case, where the coaches are like, yeah, let's just throw this game. More than likely, they didn't. Here they are. They only took one game on DFH Stadium. Everything else, pretty decisively the other way. The closest game, Forbidden Temple, went to OT and was won by Carmine Corp 4-3. Utopia Coliseum won 5-4 by Carmine Corp and OT as well. So like pretty close games, but like, otherwise it was K Corp's map showing. Like they had the poise and position, it seems like, from the get, and then just didn't really give it up.
You just went full robot on me.
All right, sorry about that. Well, K Corp really just like making the show here over Falcons, took the advantage, held on to it, and just brought it. And then Team Falcons lower bracket, just knocking some doors down until BDS took them out. So again, congratulations to Team BDS, first place winners. Nick, as far as the overall competition here goes, how did you get a chance to watch the final day a bit more? I know we were talking about it on Friday. What were your thoughts about this, generally speaking?
I watched the finals match, dude. Like, this game is nuts, man. This is like, I swear to God, like this is what it feels like. If people were to play this in real life, it would just be people in jetpacks. Like, it's almost like Quidditch. Like, with how crazy this game is, like when I watch it, like it's just nuts, bro. Like every time I'm looking at them, like, yeah, that did just happen. That was kind of crazy. Don't like, oh, they're replaying it. This is insane. I don't even know how they even did that or how this game even works half the time. It makes me feel like I don't even know what cars are.
I think your point that this game is the closest. This game is the closest to Quidditch as possible. I think that's the best assessment for it with it. I really do enjoy the team strategy for, a lot of times the mechanics can be a little bit high end, a little hard to follow what they're doing because it's so quick, so fast paced. They're able to make the flip resets happen. They're managing the boosts like crazy. They're just flying around the screen with cars, but really it's like high level math. They're five-heading it with these setups, the hits on the, the placements and strategy for their teams, the tactics that way. Like, that's just insane. Like, they're able to, such a small adjustments, the little touches that make it, and it's so beautiful to watch as a game. And even as like a low level player, you're able to appreciate it and not understand what's going on and just go, wow, these guys, what are they doing?
Agreed. 100% agreed. It appears that my connection is steadily declining.
Right, we're getting sabotaged by the internet here, but walking back. I think that kind of wraps up for this year. Just my wife, probably. Just kind of watching, this wraps up our world covered for Rocket League here. A little bit smaller of a budget because generally speaking, the games were insane. Go back, watch the VODs. They're wonderful games to see. We're seeing some highlights right now of the team play, the exciting moments. Right here, it's just G2 and Furia. We talked a lot about Furia, how they, they were so close on the edge of greatness potentially, with the first place sliding down 2 spots after the switch stage against the team that eventually goes on to win it. It could have been them by placements. They get a little bit of a harder gauntlet, but you can see here they're making moves. The team play is coordinated. This game is insane. It's so much fun to watch. The teamwork happening. They're just all flying, man. And like, that's like a simple thing to go, but you've got these cars there coming in, making those plays, securing the goals, getting those goal celebrations. It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful game. Definitely check this out because it's just, there's nothing like it, man. There's absolutely nothing like it. All right. I think that kind of wraps us up for our coverage on Rocket League World Championship 2024. Final takeaways or anything to add, Nick?
No, man. This game's gonna turn into Beyblades on Rocket League 2. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it's gonna turn. It might even turn into Twisted Metal Soccer, bro. Like I think it's gonna be. I can't wait. Actually, give me a trailer for Rocket League 2. Even though we got Rocket League 1 just popping off.
Well, Rocket League is a spiritual successor to another game that's been around for a while. So that might explain the high skill ceiling for mechanics and physics of this game and the development. But, you know, I do feel like this is... Esport is one to watch, continue watching. It's already massive. It's played across the world. Its prize pools and support are insane, incredible. It's being played at the collegiate level as well as the professional level. I'm sure we're going to see this at the international level of the Esports Olympics. We're going to see it again at Esports World Cup. And we're going to just see more people, I bet, get involved in watching this because above any other esport, this is one of the simplest to get into. Soccer ball, hit ball into goal, win. And you're doing it with cars, and the cars have jetpacks, so they fly. And easy concepts. Viewership's just going to go up and up. This game is brilliant, and I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, I want one of the cars to get a skin that's just like Ronaldo's face.
Just like a giant bobblehead of Ronaldo, like running around.